Hi everybody, it's Liz from Grow Your Mindset, and I'm very honoured today to have Nic Ashcroft with us. Now, all the other mindset interviews and the Mindset New interviews that we've done have been solely around the realms of education. But myself and Gemma have been very privileged to be working with the Co-operative Bank since 2018. And we have worked with, I would say probably in excess of 60 leaders across 3 centres, Manchester, Skelmersdale and Leek. And we have Nic here today, who comes from the Skelmersdale part of that customer services, to talk to us about mindset and the impact that it's had coming from a business point of view. Okay, so I'm not going to say much more because Nic's going to introduce herself. So Nic, welcome. And you're sat in your daughter's bedroom, looking all very pink, but it's the quietest place in the house, so that's absolutely fantastic. Right, yeah. So could you introduce yourself and just clarify your current role that you have?
Yeah, of course. Hi everyone, I'm Nic Ashcroft. I'm a customer service leader working in the Co-operative Bank at our Skelmersdale contact centre.
Okay, and how long have you been there?
I've worked for the bank for nearly 20 years.
Right, gosh.
So I'm responsible for nurturing and developing talent within our leadership population to kind of deliver the bank's strategy and the bank's objectives. That's my kind of key focus and main objectives of my daily rhythm.
Your daily role and everything. So how have you got to where you've got today, and what made you want to focus particularly within the customer services industry?
Yeah, so I kind of fell into it, if I'm honest. So I started working in the bank in March 2001. I had applied to go to university to do teacher training, but I just didn't fancy it.
Right.
So I thought, right, I'm going to get a job. I'm going to see what I can learn in the real world, if you like. Very quickly, I moved to leadership. So back in 2001, kind of moving through the ranks was a little bit difficult because kind of there wasn't. It was kind of like you had to wait for someone to leave before there was a next opportunity. So there was
a bit like dead man's shoes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I moved into leadership quite quickly. I think I was a team leader within 2.5 years.
Wow.
I then stayed as a team leader for about 13 years. And then since 2017, I've moved from being a team leader into the operations analyst role and now into my current role, which is a customer service leader. So I've done kind of every job in the bank, if you like. I've been a coach, I've been an advocate, I've been a processing team leader, contact team leader. So I've done everything really.
Right, now me and Gemma know lots about you as an individual because we've been working with you for a while now, and we know about your intrinsic motivation that you have, and it does seem that in the last probably 2.5 years your career has just skyrocketed, hasn't it, in terms of your development?
Yeah, absolutely.
So how has your journey of developing your mindset and becoming more mindset aware, do you think, has impacted on you both personally and professionally? So you being open to that now, what changes have you seen?
Where do you want me to start? So if I go way back to when I was little, so I have a disability. So I have a disability called Sacral Agenesis. So for quite a lot of people, you won't know what that is, but it's kind of like a very mild version of spina bifida. So when I was born, when I was little, my mum was basically told that they didn't know whether I'd be able to walk or whether I did. They didn't know whether I need any kind of assistance with it, etc., etc. So from being very little, I've always grown up thinking that I couldn't kind of achieve or do what other people could do, because I've always had this, you know, you're different, you've got this, you know.
Right.
And I guess it's restricted me a lot, if I'm being honest with you, because I grew up with my disability being a really fixed mindset that I had.
Yeah.
And this was with me right through up until I turned 40. And I turned 40 in 2016. And I think it was like kind of make or break time. So I had quite a lot going on in my personal life. My health wasn't great, so it was really impacting on my role. It wasn't kind of complementing me in terms of what I wanted to achieve in my career. I was really overweight. I just had lots and lots of stuff going on. And in 2016, I decided that it was kind of time for change and I needed to do something different. And at this time, I hadn't even discovered growth mindset. It was just kind of me knowing that I had to do something different.
Yeah.
So what I did in 2016 is I kind of thought, right, okay, rather than focusing on what I can't do, I'm just going to focus on what I can do. So in 2016, I signed up for swimming lessons, and then I did the Great North Swim, which is the swim in Windermere.
Right.
At the time, it was probably one of the toughest things I've ever achieved in my life. I did it. I was, I wasn't great at it, but I did it. And the motivation that gave me to actually think, do you know what, if you set your mind to achieving, you can do it. Then came 2017, and I started working with yourself and Gemma and started really learning about mindset. And it just absolutely blew me away in terms of, actually, I got to really understand that it was my own powerful thoughts and my own ability that was really holding me back in my personal and my professional life, if you like.
Yeah.
So 2017, I joined the gym. I did all those things that I kind of was told that I couldn't do.
Yeah.
I signed myself up for a very physical, quite challenging weight loss challenge. And not only did it, but I won. So this is someone who, I've always been told, you can't do that and you can't do this. And I didn't. I put myself in the learning zone. I absolutely focused on what I could do, and I won it. After that, I signed myself up for Total Warrior, which is a 12K run and 25 obstacles. I've done that twice now. But what I've kind of done now with my own sporting success, if you could call it that.
Yeah, definitely.
Is I've kind of used it to influence my colleagues as well. So people who may be struggling a little bit with their own personal weight or their own personal mental health, and I've really helped them to embrace it. Probably one of my biggest successes I've had in my personal life is, so I was diagnosed in 2019 with PTSD, real critical anxiety, and it was just because I had some personal stuff going on in my life, and it got to the point where it was really impacting on everything I was doing on a daily basis. I never ever thought for 1 minute I'd be able to kind of challenge it and fix it. And it was only when I was doing a session with you guys around, your real, what's your fear factor and what you're scared of, and actually you need to embrace it and work with it and find out more about it. So in 2019, I put myself in the learning zone. So I really learned as much as I possibly could around anxiety, why I was feeling the way I was feeling. I went and got some professional help because I needed it. And that was something that I was really fearful of. And then I really kind of got to the root cause of potentially why I was feeling the way I was feeling. And with the counsellor, I kind of got to the bottom of the fact that actually I kind of struggled with conflict. So what I did in 2020 to kind of really challenge myself again to deal with that conflict, which was impacting me, was I signed up to do an ultra white collar boxing event because, and that was kind of the main reason as to why I did it. I did that this year, and again I won it. I won my fight. It's probably the scariest thing I've ever done in my life. But again, it all comes back to the fact that I can either keep running away from things that scare me, or I can stand up and say, you know what, I'm going to learn, I'm going to do, and I'm going to learn something really powerful about myself in this situation. So that's kind of in my personal life. In my career, because I had quite a lot of stuff going on at the time that I was a team leader in terms of my own medical or my own health and well-being. It really stopped me from progressing, because I had a real fear factor of, well, what happens if I move roles and then I can't do it, and what happens if I'm no good at it, and it absolutely consumed me. And again in 2017 I kind of wrote myself a really good plan in terms of what I wanted to achieve. I took it upon myself to present that to the head of customer contact, and then I was given the opportunity to work on my plan, and since I've done that, I've put myself in the fear zone and taken myself from the fear zone into the learning zone. I've really, my career's kind of become a catalyst now, where I've been a customer service leader now for coming up to 12 months maybe. But I'm actually already thinking about, well, what's my next move going to be?
What's next?
So so absolutely, I put that down to mindset, and not letting myself be held back by inner thoughts or inner feelings that I may have developed through previous life events,
Yeah.
if you like.
Yeah,
And,
because they very quickly mould you, don't they? And they're very, and what I love about your journey, Nic, is how you've gone through stages from being a child into adolescence and then as an adult, and it is all that, all the way through. It's about being the best version of you.
Yeah.
All the way through. And as a child, your inner beliefs and thoughts and the things you had been told held you back so much, and it was about breaking those barriers down.
Yeah.
And it is, I mean, if you were to write a book on your journey with mindset, it would be amazing, because you really are an advocate of embracing the principles, but actually it not becoming what we call wallpaper. It's not just there, it's you actually walking the walk and talking the talk. And I'm loving it, because when you're talking, you're even coming out with the phrases that me and Gemma use. And it's just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So my post the other day about fear, really, no wonder that resonated with you, because it talks about that fear that we have and holds us back really should be a positive trigger, because it's that fear that often opens up so many doors and opportunities to grow.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel that's why I have developed in the last 4 years. You know, I've been very lucky to work with a great boss. Very often given tasks to do where I've thought, I can't do that, but actually I've done it. And the tasks you do that you're most fearful of are the ones where you kind of do a fist pump when you've done them, because you think, wow, I can't even believe
an achievement.
That is.
And do you still now, even though you're working the journey, do you still regularly experience your fixed mindset coming through, but you flip your switch?
It's funny, I had a real fixed mindset about 4 weeks ago. It wasn't in my career, it was in my personal life. And I bought a bike for lockdown because I can't go to the gym. You know, the gym and training is really important to me now. You know, never a thought would I ever say that I miss the gym or even go to the gym. But during lockdown, I was thinking, well, I'm going to have to do something different, trying to get my teeth into something. So I thought, right, I'm going to buy a bike. And we're already planned that next year we're going to cycle to our most northern branch, and then to our most southern branch. We're going to charity fundraise along the way. So that's kind of the challenge for next year. But anyway, I bought this bike and it came, and I looked at it, and it was like the most complicated thing that I've ever received in my entire life. I thought it was going to come built.
It was flat pack.
It was 80% built, but it had all these like protective guards on it. Anyway, it came, and I had such a fixed mindset. It was like, I can't do it. Oh, I can't believe this. And I even fell out with my son over it, because I got so frustrated. And it was funny because I just put it all away in a box, and I texted one of my friends, and I was like, please, can you come and help me fix my bike? And he was like, yeah, of course I can. Anyway, I took a step back and I had a cup of tea, and I was like, wow, what a fixed mindset you've just had there. Right, okay, let's have a say. So I had a cup of tea, I read the guide. I realised the reason I couldn't put it together was because it had all these protective caps on that I needed to remove. So once I'd removed them, I assembled my bike myself within 10 minutes.
You were being a bit impulsive there, weren't you, Nic?
But again, I guess that's something in my personal life. But I am very conscious now. I know when I'm having a fixed moment. Sometimes when I have a fixed moment, I also have like a voice on my shoulder. And the voice on my shoulder is, you know, sometimes you're in a situation when you can feel yourself that you are maybe going to behave in a way that's not going to add any value, and you have the voice. And that's when I know I'm having a fixed mindset. And I'm really conscious now that when I feel like that, I just take a step back. I really understand the situation I'm in and why other people may be having the understanding of a situation, say, and I take a step back and I really try and like see how I can make the situation more of a growth situation for myself and the group that I'm in. So I'm much better at it. But yes, I still do have fixed mindset moments on, I wouldn't say on a daily basis, but definitely on a weekly basis.
And so do I. I mean, and I've been on this journey since 2016, but it's about that not sticking in that sort of state of mind, and that it's not defining you as a person. You have a choice and move to change. And that's what this journey is all about. But what you've just said then leads beautifully to the next question, actually, because you just talked about being with colleagues.
Yeah.
Why do you think developing mindsets in your colleagues is so important for a business and for them?
So I think it makes them understand that I actually don't think there's a right way and a wrong way of feeling about anything. I think sometimes if you feel the way you feel about a certain situation, that's okay. It's okay to feel like that. Actually, feeling like that gives you an opportunity for you to overcome it and kind of really strengthen yourself with your leadership skills. I think if you develop mindset and make people understand that if you choose the right mindset on a daily basis, that actually you can achieve anything. And I truly believe that. I think people need to realise that everybody's mindset's different and everybody's mindset about a certain situation is different. It's about how you kind of deal with that and what you learn from it and what you need to do to kind of become a better version of you. So, for example, someone who has a really great growth mindset is not afraid of anybody else's talent because they want to help, they want to nurture, they want to learn, and they want to learn from that other person. Sometimes within business, you get people who are fearful of other people, and that creates a real negative mindset, and that's not great. So, you know, I'm a leader of 100 people, and I actually learn off my team leaders every single day. Some of my team leaders are much better at doing things than I am, and it's kind of creating that culture whereby if you use mindset and you use it positively, then actually it's going to benefit everybody. So why wouldn't you want to choose your mindset? Why wouldn't you want to grab onto your fixed mindset? Let's see what we can learn from and let's see how we can grow and develop. So for me, it's massively changed my life. And actually I use this stuff now daily, on a daily basis with my leadership team. And it was funny, I did a huddle the other day and all around kind of like understanding how people are feeling because of COVID and actually what we do differently. And afterwards, one of my team leaders said to me, Nic, have you started doing a counselling course? And I was like, no, why? She said, it was just really different what you did. And it's just made me step back and think about what I need to do differently with my people. You know,
was it a bit like circle of control, that sort of thing? Yeah. Brilliant.
So you know, you can only influence what you can influence, can't you? To a certain degree.
You can.
But as leaders, you're I guess people look up to you, don't they? If you're a leader, they look to you, don't they? They look to the leadership team to see what they're doing during a crisis or during a situation. So
it's about that, you being that role model, isn't it? But also being that mindset mover for other people. And you touched on that there, that developing a growth mindset is very personal and very in terms of your own development, but it's actually about encouraging growth in everybody that you come into contact with.
Lucky to work for Sally, who's my boss. So she is really, really growth mindset. She has her fixed mindset moments, absolutely, as we all do. But if I was to pick one leader who I've worked for, I definitely would pick Sally as someone who has inspired me. And I think the reason being is, back in 2017, she was the one who really believed in me, and she was the one who saw my potential and helped me to understand that I had lots of potential. And I think that's key for someone who is great at growth mindset. And the way she did it, it's funny because I've got a little story to tell. So I am not a finisher completer, okay? Not by any stretch of the imagination. I'm much better at it now, but the reason I'm much better at it now is because I've got confidence from focusing on the stuff that I do really well. So I am a plant, I'm really creative, I'm always the one in the room who can always look at kind of creating something that we can do to really drive our business forward. So I'm the one who kind of blooms the first, but then kind of runs out.
Okay.
And I also remember being given this opportunity to kind of work with my boss at the time. And within 2 weeks, we had a conversation in the lift, and she said to me, "Oh, you're not a completer finisher, are you?" And honest to God, I thought my world had crumbled because it was like, oh my God, that fixed mindset again around I'm not a natural completer finisher.
Yeah.
And actually what she said to me was, you know what, Nic, you've got qualities that not a lot of people have when it comes to being really creative and really thinking outside the box. And it was probably a real game changer for me because I'd been always focusing on this. It's like not being great at completer finishing. But I've completely overlooked the fact that I'm really good at this.
Good at this,
yeah. So kind of what I did is that I focused on what I was really good at, but actually the things that I enjoy the most now are the things what require me to be really organised and to really finish things off and really get things over the line.
Yeah.
And again, that just comes down to a growth mindset. You know, it's about believing in yourself. What
Yeah.
what are your skills, and how are you going to use your skills to really complement the things that are holding you back? And again, that was a really powerful 5-minute conversation in the lift. But again, it's really kind of like helped me to understand, actually, you don't have to be great at everything. You've got to harness what you're good at and your strengths, and help them to develop the things that actually you might not be great at. And that's kind of what I do.
And it's channeling those positive vibes and that positive thinking into the things that you are weaker at. Absolutely. To make them a strength. And we often said that as teachers, you know, children love the subjects they're good at because they get the recognition for those subjects. But actually, if you change your mindset in towards the subjects that you maybe feel you're not as good at, that are going to be really challenging, that's where you're going to grow. And it is about recognising that. Don't just stick with what you're good at. Actually, go to the challenge. Fantastic.
Absolutely. And I think when I do work on something that's really challenging, again, that's where I get most job satisfaction, because again, it's helping me to become a better version of myself. You know, if I look at my capability 24 months ago versus my capability now, if I look at my confidence 24 months ago versus my confidence now, I'm like a different person. But again, that's just because I choose every morning. I choose who I want to be. You know, and I choose that, actually, you know what, I'm just going to give everything a go. Why not? Let's just, you know, let's have a go. See if I like it. And if I like it, I'll carry on. And if I don't like it, I've learned from it. So
that's it. And it is, isn't it? And a lot of people, when we talk about growth mindset, have that misconception that it means you're going to be good at everything. And it's not about that. It's about grasping any opportunities that come your way, or go and seek opportunities, have a go. And if you don't like it, that's absolutely fine. But as long as you've tried it. It's not about being an expert in everything you try and do. And that's a really big misconception there.
Yeah, and that's kind of like the culture that I try and instill in our leadership team. So just, you know, everybody fails. Everybody. It's about what you learn from that failure, and that'll help you to be a better next time. But living in a world where you're fearful of making a mistake is really holding you back. And I do find, like, a lot of leaders who I've worked with over the last 18 months, when I really get to the root cause of kind of like why they don't want to stretch to that next role, it's because they genuinely don't think that they will be good enough, or they will make mistakes. And
you often find as well that people that are in that sort of like role expect to have the skill set before they actually attempt the job or whatever project it is they're doing, rather than actually thinking, right, I haven't got those skills yet, but this project is going to allow me to create those skills. And it is that fear of being judged, that it's all going to go wrong and pear-shaped and you're going to be accountable. But actually, it's that nurturing and that growth, isn't it? And working as a collaborative. Important. Important. So, based on that, our next and final question actually is: if someone's watching now and they're involved in business, whatever business that might be, and they're thinking, do you know what, I want to start looking at what growth mindset is and how to start implementing it within a department, what would you recommend to get the journey started? Apart from getting me and Gemma in, of course.
So obviously, I do believe that the sessions that you had with the leaders were brilliant. Really, they really have helped the leaders to think differently in terms of asking a different question when you're in a one-to-one. So, you know, asking a real growth question rather than, you know, asking a fixed question. So, you know, they're really thinking on a daily basis, you know, what can I do differently to kind of get the best out of this individual? I think a good starting point for me was really identifying what I had a fixed mindset about. So it was that self-analysis. It was that kind of like perception of me. So I guess in business it would be probably a similar journey if you were trying to bring that into your leadership team. So within your current leadership population, it would be a case of probably identifying those who were a little bit growth and the ones who weren't a little bit growth, and understanding kind of like what was holding them back within their career, and actually kind of instilling the culture whereby everybody, like you said, if you work as a team and everybody kind of is empathetic to everybody else but learns from each other, but actually you can have such a strong culture, and actually what you do is your results improve. So
yeah,
you know, I am successful in my role. You know, I love doing it. I love nurturing, developing. I think you know, in the last 18 months, I'm probably have helped about 5 team leaders move on to different positions, and that's not because they don't like working with me. But again, it's just about helping them to understand where they need to focus on to kind of get to that next level. So I guess if a business was looking at growth mindset, I'd say straight away you need to kind of do an analysis of your leadership population. You absolutely need to give them just the basic tools just to start off with. You know, so my mindset journey when I first started to my mindset journey now is very different. Now I almost do it without thinking.
Yeah, it becomes natural.
Yeah, whereas a year and a half ago, I was constantly thinking, how can I do that? How can I do that? So I think giving them the basic tools and the basic skills to kind of just think about mindset would probably help as well.
Yeah.
Definitely, as I say, I go back to my first point, I definitely would say that the sessions that we had initially with you guys, when you came to our team leader away days, was kind of the catalyst for really bringing growth mindset to life. And
like a bit of a foundation for building on.
Yeah, absolutely.
And creating that journey.
Yeah.
Gosh. Well, it's been absolutely amazing talking to you, and your whole description of where you started and where you are now and how you've changed as a person and all that has been mind-blowing, to be fair. I really appreciate it. Plus the fact you've really stepped out of your comfort zone and done your first Zoom, which is amazing. You got there.
I know it's dark now though, am I? The sun's gone. But yeah, and I came across a lot of technical difficulties getting onto this Zoom. And
yes, you did.
I could give up, but I didn't. I went on Google and I fathomed out a way to get the E with the accent on an Apple Mac. So we did it. So well done, me.
Brilliant. So you're straight on there for next time. Absolutely amazing.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, Nic, for your time. And I'm sure everybody listening has just got a whole bundle of questions and ideas and things that they can take away with them. So thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, Liz. Bye.
Bye.